all morning.
And we start off this Friday morning with continuing to follow that breaking news out of Aberdeen, where an officer has been shot. Larry Collins is streaming live at the scene. And Larry, when we last spoke with you, we heard he was a 10-year vet and that Aberdeen police are actively searching for a suspect because the officer had projectiles in his face. Is that correct?
That's right. Good morning, Tom. Police still searching for that suspect this morning. A shooting that happened at around 2:25 this morning at Ohio Court. This is near Baltimore Street, near that intersection. Give you a live look right now. The scene relatively quiet right now, but according to police, this all started with a call of a suspicious circumstance. Now, when this officer arrived, they were talking to a victim. When that officer said they heard a loud boom, felt a quick pain to his face. The officer did sustain several injuries, 6 to 8 projectiles to the face. That officer now at shock trauma this morning for those injuries. This is a developing information. They're still trying to get developing information about this suspect. As you said, Tom, the suspect is mobile at this time, and so police are currently looking for the suspect. Had a chance to talk to an officer here on the scene about the search for that suspect. Here's what he told me. Those who live in this area, do they need to shelter in place? Is there a possible threat of this suspect?
We don't believe so at this time. At this time, we have a mobile suspect that we believe is not anywhere near the scene. And obviously, investigators are following up on information regarding the whereabouts of that individual. Obviously, we consider him armed and dangerous, and it's a priority for us to bring this person to justice immediately.
Still very little known about the officer other than he is a 10-year veteran. Very little known about the victim. This morning I did ask that officer if the victim was injured. The victim was not injured. I also asked if the officer who was injured returned fire. That information has not been made available to us at this time. So just to recap, an officer, a 10-year veteran, responding to a call this morning, shot in the face. That officer still alive, receiving treatment now at shock trauma. The search for a suspect who is armed and dangerous continues. Back to you.
Thank you, Larry. We'll be checking in with you, of course, as soon as you find out some more information. We'll be breaking back in with you as well, too. Thank you. Well, good morning. It is Friday, December 4th. I'm Tom Rogers. Patrice Sanders has the day off. Megan Gillen, though, she's out and enjoying the morning. It is a little bit crisper, but we'll be checking in with her. She's happy for the holidays, and we'll explain a little bit later on. First, let's go over to Jonathan Myers to find out about the weather.
Really nice news out of her, and really nice news for me. Some chilly weather, but the sun is back for today. Let's take a look outside now. And we're talking 32 at BWI, so it's kind of cold. 38 at the Inner Harbor. It's 38 at Annapolis, 36 Westminster, and 33 at Columbia. The key, the winds, a lot calmer. Southwest at 5. So wind chill's still an issue, but not nearly like yesterday. Mainly clear skies. Got a couple of clouds off to our north and our west, but here in Baltimore, it's mainly clear, and it should stay that way for pretty much all day long. 6 a.m., 35 at 7 a.m., bright skies, sunglasses, jackets, and 8 a.m. temperatures at 37. Your Baltimore County forecast coming up in about 10 minutes, neighborhood by neighborhood. Stick around there, and at 6:45, we'll have your full weekend rundown, full weekend forecast there. Now, Candace Olds here with our traffic catch. How's it going, Candace?
Thanks so much, Jonathan. Certainly busy out there. Unfortunately, we do have a serious accident now shutting down Route 99. You're going to find that blocked right near Bethany Lane, and you definitely need to take an alternate route. It's involving an overturned vehicle, some wires that are down as well, so this isn't clearing up anytime soon. As for that alternate, if you are thinking about using 70, here's a live look, and really this is going to be the best option for you. Eastbound, westbound side looks good. Outer loop side of the Beltway, 95 up towards 83. We are at least in the green there. 12 minutes, 55 miles per hour. Only a 7-minute ride from 83 to 795. And still quiet on that west side stretch from 795 up to 95. Clocking in 11 minutes at 55 miles per hour. Tom, over to you.
Thank you, Candace. 6:05 is the time. Testimony will continue today in the trial of Officer William Porter. National news here for Baltimore. Yesterday was an emotional day in the courtroom as one of Freddie Gray's friends, Brandon Ross, took the stand. Now, Ross shot the video that we've all seen, this video of Freddie Gray's arrest. While seeing it, though, Gray's mother cried in the courtroom. Ross's video and a second video were played in court. Now, the second one was the video from Baker Street, where Freddie Gray's legs were shackled. As jurors listened to testimony, an important piece of evidence in this case circled the courthouse. Jurors got a look at the van that transported Freddie Gray after his arrest in April. It's expected that Officer Porter, will take the stand himself in the days to come. Now, prominent Baltimore defense attorney Warren Brown tells us it's a good move in Porter's defense.
It is a slippery slope for the defense to put the defendant on. But I do think that in this case, his defense attorneys will prepare him for cross-examination. And I think that it's important for him to look those 12 jurors in the eye and tell them who he is, what was in his mind that day, and that he is not the person that the prosecution is making him out to be.
Officer William Porter is expected to take the stand in his own defense as soon as next week. Now, of course, we will be there and bring you continuing coverage of the testimony continues today. Look for the latest updates on air and online at foxbaltimore.com, facebook.com/foxbaltimore. Local attorneys in West Baltimore are trying to help kids understand the legal process surrounding the Freddie Gray trials. Now, the Penn North Kids Safe Zone held a series of workshops last night called What If They Walk? The idea is to give kids information that allows them to have realistic expectations for the outcome of the trials. And the goal is to lessen the possibility of trouble if the outcome isn't favorable to some people.
We noticed when the indictments came down, this community celebrated because that was room for celebration at that point. So it's important for us to give kids the information so they act from an educated, informed place instead of an emotional place.
Kids ages 5 to 17 participated in that workshop and were able to ask tough questions that they wanted answered. Also new this morning, Republican presidential hopefuls covered a range of topics, speaking at a Jewish faith-based forum. But some say their efforts to relate to the audience came very close to some taboo topics that often cause controversy. Take a listen to what some of them had to say.
I am convinced that was a terrorist attack. We need to come to grips with the idea that we are in the midst of the next world war.
My mother told me one time, she said, Johnny, when I was a very young man, she said, Johnny, if you want to look for a really good friend, get somebody who's Jewish.
Last night, I was watching Schindler's List. Everybody here has seen Schindler's List.
I really believe the Iran deal. Look, I'm a negotiator like you folks. We're negotiators. Is there anybody that doesn't renegotiate deals in this room?
The Anti-Defamation League issued a statement quoting that they do not think Donald Trump's intention to evoke anti-Semitic stereotypes. You can watch Fox 45 Morning News even after you leave your house. We stream all of our newscasts to the web and mobile devices. Just go to foxbaltimore.com and download the Fox 45 News app. Look for WBFF in your app store. It's free. All right, one of the most exciting person to be covering this is Megan Gillen. It's our annual Toys for Tots roll call, and it's happening right now. You can help us make the holidays brighter for local families in need. Megan Gillen is actually streaming live from the Toys R Us in Rosedale with more on what your generosity means to all the kids. Good morning, Megan.
Good morning, Tom. I love this because you see all of these gifts that are going to make the holidays brighter for children in need here in the Baltimore area, and you get to see how generous Baltimore is. Even our Fox 45 crew, our producer who's doing this hour, Marie, donated these gifts for some children here this year. So, Marie, we're going to put it in the box, and then we're going to show you all of the other amazing people here in the Baltimore area willing to give back. We have Dr. Bates here, and you're with Abundant Life Chiropractic in Nottingham, and your office did a lot of work this year.
We did. We have collected toys. This is the third year that we're doing it. And we encouraged our patients and people in the local community to give toys. And we were a local drop-off place.
And you did amazing. A lot of these toys back here, your office was able to collect. And from what I hear, you have a check presentation as well.
We do. What we did for the last couple weeks is our new patient exams. We've donated the proceeds. So this is our check.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Bates.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you, and thank you for everything you did.
You're welcome.
All right, there is someone else I want to introduce you to. This little face might look familiar. This is Kirsten, and Kirsten, I think I've interviewed you every year for the past 4 years. How are you doing?
Good.
And tell everyone, maybe if they missed it, what you do every single year.
I give my presents from my birthday and give them to Toys for Tots.
That is so nice, Kirsten. Look, these are bags and bags that could have been yours. Why do you do this every year?
Because if people don't have these toys, they're not going to have a very nice Christmas.
Well, you're making the Christmas a lot brighter. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
And Tina, I know they're with you. You've got a whole hog chapter with you here that we're going to be interviewing as the morning goes on.
Yep, we've got the Baltimore Metro Hog chapter. We've got Maiden's Choice that have came together. I think we've got maybe 2 truckfuls of toys, and of course Kirsten's our star every year, who has done such a wonderful thing. And
well, I'll tell you what, we're going to open up those truck doors in a little bit and see what you've brought. Meantime, Tom, I also want to show you Famous Dave's is back there. For everyone who brings a gift out to the Toys R Us for our donation site here today, Famous Dave's is going to feed you. As if it couldn't get any better, as if the holidays couldn't get any brighter, we're going to be fed here this morning as well. So come out. We're going to be here for our Fox 45 roll call through 10 o'clock this morning. Again, this is the Toys R Us on Rossville Boulevard and Pulaski Highway. Tom, back to you.
Megan, I love this. I love this every year. Every time we come back to you, it gets bigger and bigger and so fast, too. We really enjoy it. Thank you so much for covering this.
Yep. You're welcome.
Well, if you weren't able to stay up, we're continuing to follow the breaking news out of Aberdeen this morning, where a police officer was shot during an early morning incident. We've been standing by for an update from the police department. In fact, here's a live shot you see on the screen here. We will, of course, bring you that announcement and that presser from that microphone stand here in just a little bit. We have Larry Collins, who's been there this morning. He's been giving us updates. He actually spoke with the public information officer a little bit earlier. Now, if you're just learning about this or just joining us, what we know is that the incident happened at 226 this morning, that Larry found out that it was on Ohio Court and Baltimore Street in Aberdeen, and that's where an officer was called for suspicious activity. At one point, this 10-year vet, this officer, heard a loud boom, and that we're hearing that there were 6 to 8 projectiles that he was struck with. Sounds like a shotgun, but they're not saying that. Larry was also able to speak with another officer that was there on the scene, and he said that that suspect is now mobile, is armed and dangerous, and that they don't believe he's in that immediate area in Aberdeen of Ohio Court and Baltimore Street. But, of course, they are supposed to do a press release here any minute now. In fact, if we take our smartboard right now, you can see Aberdeen police have been very active on their Twitter feed. They say 6:20 a.m. In fact, they just posted an update as we're speaking right now. If we can get a refresher on that, Tim, if you can refresh that smartboard for me, that would be great. It says press conference. And if you can scroll up a little bit, all Aberdeen schools are delayed in opening until 10 a.m. as police activities search for that suspect. So all Aberdeen schools delayed. This just happening as we are in this, just happened right here, Twitter feed from Aberdeen Police Department. Now, this press conference is supposed to start about 3 minutes ago. You see with Sergeant C. William Reber. They say they will release the suspect's name, photograph, and we will be bringing you that press conference as soon as they take the microphone. Right now, though, we are going to go to break, and we'll be right back. North Carolina kindergarten teacher is under fire this morning. Now, the teacher allegedly washed one of her students' mouth out with soap. The incident reportedly happened at Wiley Elementary in North Carolina this week, and according to a PTA member, the parent of another child saw what happened and reported it to the principal and other PTA members. A spokesperson for the school district called the act unacceptable.
I'm sad. I'm frustrated. I'm angry that it happened. I would say some type of punishment would be appropriate, of course, but I don't know what type. When you take your child to school, you trust they're in the best of care, and you don't want anything done to them that you don't do.
Well, the teacher has now resigned, and the school district, along with the local police department, is investigating that incident. Also this morning, we're hearing from the Kentucky police officer whose dash cam was recording when a deer, remember that buck, jumped in front of his cruiser, went airborne, hitting a sign, and then that deer, see it right there? Hits that road sign and then takes off, runs away. Officer Chris Patigula actually thought he was on routine patrol Sunday afternoon with an 8-point buck jumped in front of his car. Incredible dash camera, though. Unbelievable. Of that accident quickly went viral, racking up 2.3 million views from all over the world.
I figured, get some attention around northern Kentucky, but I never expected it to get over 2 million likes and all the news networks, around North America and Europe carrying it.
Well, it's mainly because the buck appears to be completely fine getting up and running away, I think. But the officer was also not injured as well. Now, his cruiser, it did have some minor damage to the left headlight area. The buck got up and ran away, as you saw that in the video. Well, this next story is a little odd. Santa is getting an update to his old red suit. At least one Santa in particular, one mall, I should say, is Hipster Santa here. He maybe changed just for a couple days. I don't know. I've seen a Santa that doesn't quite look like that yesterday. Complete with sports jeans and a sweater and a man bun. Yeah, he posed for pictures with children at a mall in Portland, Oregon. Hipster Santa is also health conscious. He gives a break to his reindeer and sleigh. Actually rides around on his bike. You see it right there in the shot when he's not delivering any toys for kids. Who knew? Coming up, we are still standing by for an update from that Aberdeen Police Department after an officer was shot in the face. They say armed and dangerous. It looks like they may be coming out to step up to the microphone right now. So we want to hang on right here and find out if that officer steps up to the microphone. We're going to stay with that and give you that update. We are expecting this to happen any second now. They're going to microphone that officer, and we'll get back to you. Larry Collins is staying there giving us reports as we speak right now. We'll be right back to that. 6:29 is the time. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.